what these people do, for reasons I explain in my books, they feed off human energy and they manipulate the Earth's energy field, because, you know, we see our body, it appears to be solid, it appears to be physical. It's not. There's no such thing as the physical. I mean, quantum physics will tell you that. It's a hologram. It's illusory physical. And there are many levels to the human form, and one of them is an electromagnetic field that we call the human aura. And at the level of the electromagnetic, we can connect into the electromagnetic field of animals, of plants, of anything. And we certainly interact on that level with the electromagnetic field of the Earth. So we're in, if you kind of symbolize the Earth's magnetic field as the wireless internet, and the human form is like a computer that connects into that wireless internet, there is an interaction between the two. Mm-hmm. You know, when you go into a house or a building where there's been a lot of really negative things, you go, oh my goodness, it's horrible in here. Well, what's making you do that? You're picking up the distortions and imbalances in the electromagnetic field. And then you go to another place and you feel really high and joyous, because you are actually connecting into a balanced electromagnetic field and thus having a good experience. So where I'm going with this is that you can manipulate the population individually and collectively by accessing the electromagnetic field and of the people, and you can also trawl their energy, particularly if you can gather them together in large numbers. And another thing, and I know a lot of people listening to this will find this hard to take if they are new to it, but everything has an electromagnetic field. A flame has an electromagnetic field. A symbol has an electromagnetic field. A deity in a church has an electromagnetic field. You know, everything does. It's all energy in the end. And thus, we can be manipulated on that level by other electromagnetic fields. This network of bloodlines and secret societies, they don't have a whole language of symbolism like the all-seeing eye that you see on the dollar bill, like the pyramid and the flame and the six-pointed star, which is symbolic of Saturn. They don't have all these things for fun. They have them because they know they can have an impact. The Satanists don't work with the inverted pentagram because it's a laugh. They know that it has a energetic impact. That's why they've used these same symbols throughout thousands of years. You know, when insiders have been involved in some of these rituals around the world with leading politicians who've told me how they do Babylonian rituals and they do Druidic rituals. They don't follow those rituals because of just tradition. They follow those rituals because they worked it out a long time ago. The way to conduct the ritual, the colors, which are vibrations and electromagnetic fields themselves, and the words, which are vibrations from the vocal cords, etc., what the combination is needed to do to have the effect that you want. That's why they just keep repeating the same rituals generation after generation. And you can have a satanic ritual. I mean, you know, when they had these ancient open sacrifices to the gods, they used to say they were sacrificing someone to the gods. Well, what were they sacrificing? They were sacrificing the energy field, the electromagnetic energy field, because the more terrified you become, the more you know, in extreme fear you become, that has an effect on your electromagnetic field. It takes it into a certain frequency band which can then be trawled. And you can do this individually, and it's widely documented how that's happened over the years and still is, or you can do it collectively. Because, you know, when you go to a football match and the crowd is really excited, people say, oh, the atmosphere was unbelievable. You know, the hairs on the back of my neck were standing up. Well, what is atmosphere? It is the energy of excitement electromagnetically generated by the sum total of the crowd. That's why the hairs stand up on your back of the neck. It's an electromagnetic field. And they set up these mass rituals all the time in religions, and not least in this country through the royal family, where they trawl the energy of the people. And so if you, there's this great line, energy flows where attention goes. I was talking on the Alex Jones show the other day, and he was saying how he's experienced feeling someone was looking at him, behind him, in a restaurant maybe, and he's turned round and he's seen this person looking at him. Well, what has he been feeling? He's been feeling the energetic connection that is made when you focus. So the person is focusing on him, and what people would say, he's looking at me intensely. But that focus on an electromagnetic level generates a connection, and that's what you feel when you feel, I just feel someone's looking at me, and you turn around and they are. And this connection can be made by getting anyone to focus on something. And if you can get them to focus on the symbols, whether they're people or whether they are symbols in churches or what have you, of this network, you focus their attention, you make that energetic connection, and you control their energy through it. Because this world is being manipulated not primarily from the world that we see, but from frequency bands beyond it, where this energy is trawled from humanity in general. So when you look at this summer, because you can never take one thing in isolation, it's always a sequence. We've had mass ritual after mass ritual this summer in Britain, with the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, and the focus upon the Queen, who is an absolute personification of this network. And if she represents it, then the focus of attention upon her will make that energetic connection in a way that the energy can be trawled by this network and that which is beyond the world that we can see. So you look at the river pageant and the bells leading it. That's all part of the vibrational ritual, and all the churches ringing their bells in unison as the bell barge went along. What's going to be one of the great centerpieces of the opening ceremony of the Olympics? A massive, enormous, staggeringly big bell. And of course, they've been using bells in their energetic rituals for thousands of years. They just put it on public display in a way that it kind of tries to hide it. It's just part of pomp and ceremony. What we call pomp and ceremony is actually ritual, satanic ritual in your face. The two key colors in satanic ritual are red and black. Look at any royal occasion. Look at the royal wedding. Look at the barge. Look at anything. It's all black and red. This is because it's a public ritual. And one of the great symbols for thousands of years of this network has been the torch and the flame. And one of the central points of this Diamond Jubilee was at the time of the music concert outside Buckingham Palace, where 4,200 beacons, i.e. flames, fires, were lit all over Britain and all over the Commonwealth, leading to the ritual at the end of the concert of the Queen using a crystal diamond to activate the mechanism that made that flame explode into life outside Buckingham Palace. This is all happening on a subconscious electromagnetic level, and that focus with the symbols of these people makes an energetic connection to these people. At the same time, we've had the flame, again the flame and the torch coming from Greece and going all around the country in virtually every populated area. That's all been going on at the same time, and it's bringing that energy, that collective energy, into London for the big opening ceremony, which will be full of bloody symbolism, with the moment when the flame is lit in the cauldron. The cauldron, of course, used in these rituals for thousands of years. And then you look at what Britain is and what London is. You know, I talk about the Earth having this electromagnetic field. Well, you know, we know that. But also within this field is a network of force lines, energy lines, which are known as ley lines or meridian lines or whatever. We have them in the body. That's what acupuncture is working with its needles, the flow of energy through these meridian lines. And the energy lines in the body are carrying information, what the Chinese call qi. Energy and information are the same thing. So passing through these this network of force lines, ley lines, meridians, or in and through the planet, is information. And there are points where these lines cross. If two cross, a small vortex is thrown up. If a lot of lines cross, there is an enormous vortex. And what you do in these big vortexes, what you impregnate it with in terms of information, in terms of energy, then gets transmitted all around the planet to impregnate itself within the energy field of the planet in general. It just so happens that the British Isles in general, and in many ways London in particular, is one of these great central points on the Earth's magnetic grid. This is why there are more standing stone circles and earthworks in Britain per square mile than anywhere else in the world. And what they're doing is they're focusing this energy upon London. This is where the flame is coming to finish up for the Olympics. Now, as I said, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but all the signs are that something is building here big time. We'll have to see how it works out. But I just said that what you do in these major vortex points is impregnates itself upon the entire Earth's magnetic field. So having focused this energy, this electromagnetic energy upon London through this summer of ritual, should they, in that vortex, during or after the Olympics, have a massive negative event, then its impact, not just upon the Earth's field, but on the global psyche of humanity, will be absolutely enormous. You know, there are organizations that have measuring devices at different points around the world, which are measuring changes in the Earth's magnetic field. At the time of 9/11, as the information started to circulate of what had happened, and people were doing what? Focusing on an incredibly negative event all over the world on the television. At that point, there were massive spikes in the electromagnetic field. And because we are interacting with it all the time, what they do to us in terms of manipulating our mental and emotional state impacts upon the field, and what they do to the field impacts upon us. And this is the level it's all going on. And this is the level that this whole summer of ritual is going on. And it is very possible, not saying it's going to happen, but it is very possible that they will try to do something before the summer is out that will impact in the way that I'm talking about.